It's June 16th and we are commemorating what happened in 1976 in Soweto, and there's no better way to speak to Miss Antoinette Sithole. It's an honor for me to be here.
Thank you.
And I'm sitting across you 41 years after what happened on June 16th, 1976, and after that iconic picture the entire world got to see. But what I would like to know is, after you were seen in that picture with Mbuyiso and with Hector, what exactly went through your mind at that very moment?
Usually it's not easy to describe what was going through. Instead, what was reflecting on my eyes, it was like that was in my mind. I wouldn't say exactly what was really going on in my mind, but the reflection that I saw at that moment is still in my mind up to date. So it wasn't necessarily like what was going through my mind, but what I was seeing is what was in my mind. It was like a reflection.
After June 16, 1976, the world's eyes was on the iconic picture. It was on you, it was on Hector as well. And the world got to know the story of the Soweto struggle and the uprising. How was your life after that day?
My life was a little bit confusing then, because we never thought this will happen, We just thought we are innocent school children who actually went to the street to convey the message, not necessarily going to fight. So after my brother died, that was something else, It was like, why me? Why our family? Why did this have to happen? It doesn't make sense. I had so many questions and less answers, like, why did police shoot at us? It did not make sense. Why did they open fire, They should have resorted to something, like they call the fire brigade and splash us with water. Then both of us will be enjoying because we'll be getting water, they'll be splashing water. That was my idea, but only for that at that time. And besides, that was my thinking.
You were only 17 years old at the time. Did your parents approve?
Not necessarily, Remember, we actually tried by all means to keep that as a secret, But some parents knew, but they wouldn't tell the next person because they just thought that, we are fooling, But others really warned us and told us that boys are going to kill you, But to us it was like, no, we are not going to fight anybody. We're just having our placards with the message on. That's how we convey our message. So obviously, my parents and other parents wouldn't approve.
You once said, and I thought it was so profound, you said that you are the past, the present, and the future.
Yeah, I always say that, especially when I'm at the Hector Pieterson Museum where we are now, when I take a photo next to that iconic picture, I usually say, oh, you're taking the past and the present. Lucky me, something like that, yeah. I'll just make a joke out of it, but yeah.
Looking back to 41 years ago, is there anything that you would have done any differently?
Well, I wouldn't really say yes as such, even though my aim was to become a pharmacist because I did the science subject. I thought I would be doing something for our community, coming up with new ideas of how we can really heal the nation. But somebody said to me, you are already healing the nation in a different way, But actually, I would have been a pharmacist.
I want to ask you, on that note of wanting to be a pharmacist, how important is education for you, especially after 41 years ago? Because now in new age, in 2017, there's new careers jumping up and people are doing careers that we never thought would be possible 41 years ago.
Yeah.
That they don't need education, but I still feel that education should be at our forefront of our existence.
Yes, even up to date, I still feel like education is very, very important for human beings, Yes, there should be upgrades here and there, but it is important at the end of the day. By the way, on the 16th of June, we just told ourselves that this is not for us, but it's for generations to come to have a better life and a better education. So even if there are some changes in education, it should be the best, not the better. We said better, but now it should be the best. But I don't know what's really going on in schools now, There's bits and pieces of things that are not really coming together.
If could go back, what advice would you give the 16-year-old Antoinette?
Okay, a 16-year-old actually, I would say, make sure you take a stand. Stand up for yourself. If you can't, bring your friends, your neighbors, whoever, whatever problems you have, you should be the one starting. Then you go to your friends or your neighbors, somebody whom you see that this one can really help me, that I've got this idea. At schools, teenage pregnancy, drugs, what do we do about it? Take a stand. If nobody of your peers will help you, approach an adult, maybe a teacher, talk about it. We want to do some campaigns like fighting drugs and teenage pregnancies as youth, Not only you should do that, but you as youth take a stand.
What advice would you give for the youth of today?
Well, the youth of today, I still say they must take a stand in a positive way. Even I know today everything, you have to go to the street and do it. Why don't we change a little bit? Let's find something new. Still doing, but in a different way. Let's say we choose 3-4 people to go and represent us whenever we've got problems. And then we accompany those people, those representatives of ours. Let's say maybe it's the Department of Labor. We have to sit around outside labor. Those representatives will go in. Then you sit around, you do the sit-in. Sit there. Yeah, let's change it. Sit there and let's see what's going to happen. Even police can be called, but obviously they won't do anything, even though they will be saying, no, you shouldn't be here, but at least you've got the representatives inside and you make sure they represent you well. We change focus. Yeah, we have been doing this too much. Maybe we should change focus.
Heard that you love tea.
Yes.
And I also love tea, so I think that's what we can do now, have a cup of tea.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me and have a lovely Youth Day.
Same to you, thank you, dear. I know you'll be working, but enjoy at the same time.
Thank you.
Yeah.